We understand an upside-down world. But they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more because we have an appointment with destiny.
Let's talk about Otay Ranch, number 1, number 16, Foothills Christian. What do you got here?
Otay Ranch. Foothills is another team to just kind of put a pin in for the future. Juju LaBelle and Angel Escarcega have been really a breath of fresh air for a program that looked like they were falling off the cliff.
I think that they were a program that was headed back into utilizing the way that the CIF divisions are constructed. I thought that Foothills was going to take a couple hard L's over the years and drift into D5 again and then be like, look, we had a fantastic run that will never be questioned as a good run, and we had a couple of McDonald's All-Americans, which doesn't make sense for the per capita of how big our school is, but you know, like it was that. And no, but you're right. They have kind of not. They put the brakes on their just massive descent into obscurity.
They're able to keep those two guys and maybe add 1 or 2 other players around them in the next couple of years. They'll be right back in Division I because Juju LaBelle.
But for this one, you like Otay Ranch.
Yeah, Otay Ranch, again, a team that was in the D2 championship a year ago.
Mm-hmm. And flirted with top 10 votes all year.
I voted for them a couple times in the top 10. And, you know, a team that doesn't rely on one dude to get it done. I mean, you could argue their best player, Elijah Newsom, is probably the most underrated best player because he didn't even make All-League this year, which is crazy to me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm losing faith in the All-League process. All right, number 8, Bishops. Number 9, East Lake. What do you like here?
I'm going Bishops. Well coached. 2 really stud players in Tyler Hagan and Luke Ball. They execute. Nick Levine's one of the most underrated coaches in San Diego, does more with less than just about anyone.
Yeah, because I can confirm that is a school that would not let Jalen Hands in. Yeah.
Yeah, they won't let anyone in. I mean, it's like you basically got to make it happen.
Yet my brother-in-law got in there.
I mean, what can I say?
Always got to be one, huh? Mm-hmm. Always got to be one charity case. But you like Bishops in this one, you said?
I do.
All right, deal. Number 5, Rancho Bernardo. Number 12, Canyon Crest Academy. This one is just a number 5 hosting a 12. This is not a 12 hosting a 5. You, out of like, this is going to be a Barnes doors blowing off. There's going to be a small crater left on the CCA bench.
This has a chance to be the best game of
the
Tuesday.
Opposite. Okay, let's talk about it then. Why do you think that this has a chance to be the best game on Tuesday?
Because I think that Canyon Crest underachieved pretty much all year, but on paper, they're as talented, if not more talented, than RB is.
Okay.
RB, though, has their big 3, Xavier Ogle, Cam Wood, and Dalton Runyon, are very good. They're not super deep, and their depth was impacted when they lost a couple of guys, the Thompson brothers, who quit the team mid-year, I think.
Their loss.
Yeah, I know. But I like RB to carry the day in this one, but man, this is going
to be a battle.
This is going to be a fun one.
All right,
yes.
Deal. Number 13, Christian takes on number 4, Scripps Ranch.
Scripps Ranch is my favorite outside of the 2.
I'm so bummed to see this team without Jax Leatherwood, though, this year. I wanted that to be...
You know, it's funny because all summer I was thinking, okay, if you add Jax to the group that they've got, they might not only win Division II, but this could be a team that could be a repeat state champion.
Yeah, we could be talking about Jax Leatherwood having like just a loose baggie of championship rings because he just loses track of all of them.
And it was a bummer, like when I went to watch them in December, seeing him cheering in the stands with his friends instead of playing. I was like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
But
moral of the story is, Jax, we miss you, man.
Yeah, we do. But I really like Scripps Ranch in this one.
Deal. I like them as well. On the other side of the bracket, number 11, University City. Number 6, Helix.
Another tough one.
I think that Helix, if I wasn't picking Lincoln, Helix might be my field pick here potentially.
Mm-hmm. I like them. Yes. I like them to win this game too. I think they're 2 teams heading in different directions. UC peaked early in the season. They've had a kind of a backslide.
Hey, as a La Jolla alumni, I'm down with UC. Down with them all.
Death to the Centurions.
Yes.
I really like Helix's guard play. Aquan White, Brooke Keflaesis, they've done a really good job over the last couple years. Going undefeated in Grossmont Hills is no small thing to.
Yeah. No, that's a tough league. That's a tough league.
It's down a little bit. I mean, it's probably, and I would say this, it's not down because most of the teams are down. It's down because one of the standard bearers in that league, Grossmont, is way down. Like Grossmont perennially has been like the nemesis of Helix. The team that throws them that one loss right before they go undefeated in the league.
I think it also just feels down more than is down, just because there's no Miles Norris or type signature player out there where we have had the Eye of Sauron has not been fixed on the East County. It's been on the South Bay. So
but here's one of the disappointing things about that league this year. Granite Hills was 12-12, 4-4 in that league. Didn't make the playoffs. Like that's tough. That's really tough. And I mean, that's the numbers saying that, yeah, the league might be a little down, but that's not to discount what Helix has done.
Truth be told, James Davis, the AD at Granite, probably just tanked that season so he can get all of his baseball players early. He's
got quite a few there, I heard.
Our next game is Mount Carmel and Coronado. Mount Carmel is the 14. Coronado is the 3. Are you going to say Mount Carmel is going to win this as an upset, or will there be tortillas on the court?
Oh, that's a loaded one. I've been told that they can't bring outside food into the gym anymore, so hopefully that,
But it's a school tradition at a college 700 miles away.
Ooh, don't get me started on that shit.
You know what? Fair enough. You don't want to solve race relations in America on this podcast.
Oh, we're good.
Because that used to be our goal, was try to solve race relations in America. But
that's a lot of heavy lifting for a couple of minutes because, I have my feelings about that. I will say this, though. Anthony Ott has done a good job in terms of,
they've moved on from it in a great way.
But I think that they've not only, I think he made them, look at themselves introspectively and really say, look, we fucked up big time. Pardon my language.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, but
I am 100% convinced that the powers that be above us at CIF have never watched an episode of this show. So yeah, no, I'm fine with all the profanity.
I like Coronado in this game.
Well, they're the 3 seed, so you should like them.
Yeah.
Number 10 Vista takes on number 7 Madison. You had hinted, I believe, in the D5 podcast, which made no sense as to why you were talking about it then, but you like Vista to potentially be a little bit of an upset in this one, but maybe even a further upset. Are we talking about a semifinals here for Vista?
I don't think.
Well, let's start at least just with this one then. Number 7 Madison, number 10 Vista. You like Vista?
I like Vista. Anytime you have a Division I basketball player, in Cyprian Hyde, they do.
They have a Division I basketball player in Cyprian Hyde?
Yeah.
I would have never known.
I know, right?
You've never have you? I personally have never received a DM from his dad. Quite literally ever.
Never. Not since yesterday. Yeah. Sip is Sip's one of the
player. He's a really good player.
I'll be honest with you. He's very polarizing. There's a big contingent in San Diego that looks at him and says, how the heck is this guy a Division I basketball player? Then there's another contingent that says, dude, he's 6'10", he can shoot threes, he rebounds at a ridiculous clip, and he's going to a program that's going to redshirt him and get him ready to play basketball. For me, it's an easy call.
I fall onto the side of I like him as a player. Yeah. I think that granted, I never grew to 6 foot plus, hard cap at 5'11" and 3/4. Mad at my parents forever about that. But per my understanding of growing that much when you are 17 and 18 is you don't have it all figured out.
Oh no, not
so
at all.
I look at some of the basketball players and to a degree, some of the defensive ends coming out of San Diego football scene.
Yeah.
Where you look at just the body frame, you go, okay, that plus 2 years and 35 pounds equals fantastic athleticism and great players. So yeah, great. Perfect that
wholeheartedly agree.
He's not out here putting up, posterizing dunks and doesn't have an NIL endorsement deal. That doesn't mean he's not a good basketball player. So I'm with you on that front.
And then I like his supporting cast. Lasai Garrett as a senior has been kind of a revelation for the Panthers. Their transfer quartet of sophomores and seniors, whether it be CJ Coleman, Ashawn Mitchell, Gavin Gwynn, Nasik Taylor have all gotten better as the season has progressed, and they're on a 4-game winning streak coming in. Now, that's not to say that Madison won't win, just because Madison has had a surprisingly strong season, given that their best player from last year did not play a game this year and was supposed to be back for them.
Coach Stutz has never had a normal year in his entire tenure.
Man,
he's never had a bump-free ride.
I mean, but like, I feel bad. I mean, because Joe Angel Cruz was an all. I had him on the all full-time hoops freshman first team last year.
You cursed him.
Yeah, and he hasn't been seen or heard from since.
Look, I'll finish the Madison thing off with, I take every opportunity to remind people that this show is singularly dedicated to Jake Jackson Stan.
Man,
We are a
my
Jake
goodness.
Jackson Stan account.
My goodness.
There is no reason to not go watch this simply because he is going to be a Major League Baseball player someday. So why not go watch him play basketball?
He's a Major League Baseball player who could be an elite Division I receiver. That's so crazy. And could play Division I basketball probably.
How stoked is Rick Jackson that he doesn't have to pay for college?
Gotta
How
love that.
stoked is Rick Jackson right now?
You think young Jackson will be as good?
I've been told, per my sources, that he blows his brother out of the water in terms of his baseball talent. Wow. Like makes his, like, wipes the floor with his brother on a diamond.
That's wild.
And yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
And hey, as we've all known
Genetic
over all the
lottery
years,
right there, man.
this guy has the sources. No, it's just rambling baseball coaches that like talking to me. But yes, I think that the Madison thing is always interesting because they have been in some championship games where you look at them and you're like, this is a hodgepodge. What is this? And then they get there and you're like, it works. Like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, great. Our final game, San Diego Academy. Hey, look, man, everyone, this feels like an unfortunate buzzsaw for them to run into a little bit as a 15-2. I also, though, am kind of hype on the Lincoln team. I like what they do on the court basketball style-wise. They were in the top 10. They were really close to San Ysidro in some other games. What do you like here?
I like Lincoln, but I think San Diego poses an interesting challenge as a first-round game because of how well coached they are. I mean, you know, Coach Jason was I believe he was Coach of the Year last year in CIF.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got him as Coach of the Year, really good X's and O guy. Doesn't have the talent that he had a year ago when they won Division III, but they're in. But
some pieces, whenever you have any pieces returning from a championship team, you have the ability to say, hey, we can fall back on the little bit of someone has been here.
Yeah.
So not everybody is going to be a little bit nervous.
Tucker Oween, Troy Watnell, guys have, played in that championship game. They're gonna put up a fight at least for a half, I think. And I think Lincoln will win this game.
Probably will end up, and it'll end up looking further apart than it actually was.
Probably.
Yeah, I hate that. Absolutely hate that about basketball.